All right, welcome back, folks. Apologize for that. Don't know what happened there. OBS took a dump on us, and that is the first time I can remember that ever happening. So what an interesting scenario to deal with there. So we're back here for Legends at Irwindale Speedway on the inner course here in California. And the sun is setting, and it is definitely gorgeous out, but on pole is that number 66 of David Krikorian. 95 of Brandon Hoff in second, Jeffrey Stanton in the 61 in third, John Quinn in the 91 in fourth, and J.D. Laird in the 333 in fifth place. Davey Scoville and Richard Orr did not lay down a time. So, Finney, can you just give me just make sure that my audio is working here? I didn't get a chance to test it. Oh, okay, good. I just might want to make sure that our audio is working. Okay, we're back here, all sorted out, and it looks like Richard Orr is going to try to get a lap in here at the last second.
Now's about a time than any.
Yep. I would love to look at the crash report for OBS and see what caused that, because I've never had OBS crash. We've done a lot of streaming, so I'm not quite sure what that's all about. We'll get that sorted.
I don't know if Rich is going to be able to complete the lap and checkered flag. Okay, just gets it in.
Yep. Wow. Yep, but he will qualify P6, so no advancement there for him. All right, so as we grid up this field, we got 30 laps here on the Legends Oval here at Irwindale Speedway, and it's definitely going to be a good one. When you bunch up these cars on a tight track like this, it is bound to be exciting to watch. So we're just going to wait for all 7 cars to get their butts on the grid, and we'll go racing here. Genuinely pretty curious about the crash report. I definitely want to check that out, just to prevent that from happening in the future. Because now I have to decide if I want to splice this into, leave this as 2 or try to splice it into 1. It's going to be a complicated process here to figure that out. So that was unfortunate. All right, we got cars on the racetrack loaded in and looking from high above. Let's take a look at our weather information here tonight. And just like it was a little while ago, 78 degrees in the air, 84 on the track. Partly cloudy sky conditions, wind out of the north at 2 miles an hour here at the Irwindale Speedway. For the Irwindale Sim Series, it's their 3rd week this season. And we've got a couple more lined up to go, and they're bi-weekly every 2 weeks. And here's a fun fact that doesn't matter, Finian. Bi-weekly can mean either twice a week or once every 2 weeks. So that is a fun fact of the day there.
Random knowledge that will probably never matter.
Well, you know, sometimes you got to know certain things, Finian. Also, let's just test this out because I'm proud of it. When the caution comes out, this is the cool thing you get to see. Let's turn the ticker on. It makes it look better. And hopefully we will go caution-free. But that is the cool animation that I spent a long time working on, so hopefully everybody enjoys that. All right, we got cars rolling. The 66 of David Krikorian is going to lead them down to the green flag in that red and black number 66. 95 is on his outside. We got the 61 and the 91 in row 2. And the pace car is going to pull off next time around, and we'll set them loose for 30 laps. And this is going to be, with 15 seconds a lap here, that's about 4 laps a minute. So my math, it's going to be just under 9 minutes. Shows on ATVO that it's going to take about 7 minutes and 46 seconds if everything goes as quick as David Krikorian's qualifying lap, which I don't think is going to happen, but let's see what happens as the Ford FR500 pace car is going to pull off the racetrack, and green flag is in the air here at Irwindale Speedway. Down into turn 1, nice and tidy.
And everyone's hugging that inside line really tight.
Definitely don't want to pull yourself too far from it. And the 333 of J.D. Laird is going to run a little bit wide, and here comes to the inside. That's the number 9 of Davey Scoville.
There's an interesting line going on. He's going all the way out to the outer oval and turning in, trying to arc the corners.
Wow, he's way out there.
It's an interesting strategy.
Yeah, definitely not something we've seen a lot of. And Richard Orr, oh, that's... Look at the 333 all the way out, almost to the wall. Although I will say it's not... I mean, unless he's trying to get to the rear of the field, it's not really working out all that great for him, I will say. David Krikorian out front right now by 0.3 of a second over Brandon Hoff in the number 95, and that gap is actually shrinking just a little bit last time by.
Yeah, these guys are running like almost identical lap times. They're really close. And you can see they're both pulling away a bit to third place.
Riding on board now with the number 95. Over the shoulder camera this week. Out, over, and back down to the apex. That yellow line, got to be careful. You don't want to cut the track too much. That'll be a nice naughty penalty from iRacing. So you got to avoid getting all 4 tires below that yellow line. See Krikorian really straddling it. The 95 even drifting out there a little bit wide.
Yeah, I appreciate him for trying a different line. I don't know if that's really helping him too much, but he's definitely trying to see where he can gain some time on the 66.
Whoa, Richard Orr is a little bit sideways, and Davey Scoville in the 9's going to go around the outside. But the battle for the lead is still heating up, and we're almost a third of the way through this race already. And last time by, Hoff was just about a 10th quicker. 0.2 that time by, and he is closing in on the rear bumper of Krikorian, but not really anywhere to go, and I imagine it's got to be extremely difficult to make a pass here, especially on the bottom, because Krikorian's got basically his entire car already covering that, and you're going to have to move him to get down to below him. And unlike the bigger oval, not a ton of banking, if any. It's maybe a couple degrees there, so not a lot to lean on for the outside groove.
You know, I gotta wonder if he's kind of running out of a bit of patience and he's thinking about giving a bumper. The only problem is that these things really don't have much of a bumper, and if you do give a bumper, you're probably going to dump the guy in front of you.
Yeah,
So.
the one thing about the short wheelbase, Finian, is that it's not very stable, so as soon as you knock it out of the way, it'll go all the way around on you. Well, this isn't the only battle we have, and we do have a battle for, I believe that's 4th place. Or 3rd and 4th, actually. Yep, there it is, between Jeffrey Stanton and the 61 and the 91 of John Quinn. But the battle for the lead is what's the pressing matter at the moment. Here comes the 95 looking to the inside. The 66 is going to give him the time of day. Can he get the 95 to the inside? Lots of racing room being given by that 66, but we're almost halfway through.
Here comes the 95.
To the inside.
He might have it here.
Yeah, it looks like he's... Is he clear? Not quite. He should clear him here, though. And a little wiggle from the 95.
Wow, the 66 is still going on the outside. I'm impressed.
Yeah, he's still managing to carry that run. But looks like... Oh, every time I think he's going to be clear, there he is. The 95 is finally clear. Every time I thought he was going to be clear, he just managed to hold on for just a little bit longer. Meanwhile, behind him, John Quinn has gotten around the 61 of Jeffrey Stanton. But up front, this lead is not... the 95 is not driven away just yet. The 66 is still right on his rear bumper. And now that we're halfway through the race, I think the gloves are starting to come off here just a little bit. Last time by, a 10th quicker for Hoff. This might be one of those scenarios where the second place driver is always the quickest one. And they swap back and forth, but... that time by, still a little bit quicker for the leader.
Yeah, I wonder if he's going to try to think of maybe a dive or something. He's going to have to get creative as the laps are ticking down.
He closed in a little bit that time by, just a couple hundredths, but that's enough to get him right back to the rear fender. And they might have to deal with some lap traffic here before the day is done with J.D. Laird. And we'll be coming to 10 to go next time by. This is an incredible battle for the lead between these two cars.
Oh, wow. 66 almost hit the 95 that time.
I imagine every lap he's going to get a little bit closer. Here he comes to the inside. Can he get a nose in? Not quite. 95 slams the door on him, but he left it open that time. And here comes the 66 back to the inside. Can the 95 hang on? He does. Accelerates out of the corner. He'll clear him. The 333 will get out of the way. But back to the inside comes the 66.
Oh, he's pinching him on exit. Here comes the 95 back on the
And
outside.
he's clear. Can he get back down in front? Not quite. The 66 dies underneath him. Wheel-to-wheel contact, just a little wiggle. There's a touch there. 8 laps to go. Side by side still, not giving each other a whole lot of room. The 66 wiggles.
Oh, he gets a fender in there. That's all you need.
But he can't quite get the drive off, and that's why he's struggling to complete this pass.
As long as he can keep a fender in there, he's got a really good fighting shot at it, and he seems to be kind of getting back now.
Oh, wow, they're wheel-to-wheel still. Coming to 6 laps to go, and honestly, it's going to... If they race like this for the rest of the race, it's going to come down to who's got the better run off of turn 4. See the 95 drifting out way wide, but see, that's a wider arc, and it's actually... Oh, we got one car crash. That's the 333 of J.D. Laird, and he is off. Was that Davey Scoville that was off? I believe it was Scoville. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was Scoville.
Sorry about that. Thought it was J.D. Saw him pretty slow and stopped. We're not going to pull away from this action. Down to the inside comes the 66. Oh, he's loose. He's sliding out of control, but he will hang on.
He saves it. Wow. No. He saves it.
Wow,
Okay.
That was a long slide, but I think that's going to be all she wrote up front.
Oh, meanwhile, for third.
In a battle.
91 and 61.
They're in a similar battle here, and that 61 running a real high lane. And looks like John Quinn is going to be able to hold on to this. John Quinn, I believe, was the driver in 3rd place. He must be defending from the 61. Three laps to go. Should be 2 now with the 95 of Brandon Hoff in the lead. Coming around to take the white flag next time by. And we will get a replay of Davey Scoville's accident before we are done here. So just hang tight for that. White flag is in the air for the number 95. One more time around Irwindale Speedway.
Oh, here comes the 61 on the 91. Standing's closing. He looks to the inside.
He gets him. He clears him, but down to the inside. Oh, that's a little bit naughty there on the inside. Will he get a penalty? Doesn't look like it.
We'll see after the race. Here he comes. The slide job. Into the line.
Oh,
wow.
Just beat him to the line, but your winner is the number 95 Brandon Hoff. David Krikorian, a well-earned, hard-fought 2nd place. John Quinn in 3rd, just by a nose. By 0.04 of a second was the gap between 3rd and 4th. Richard Ord, J.D. Laird, and Davey Scoville. So while the number 95 is doing his burnouts, I'm going to quickly run and try to find that incident. All right, so we're looking back at the number 9. Oh, well, I lost it. We'll be back in just a second. I thought I had it all sorted out. Okay, here we are. There's Davey Scoville, the number 9 to the inside of, that was the 76 of Richard Orr. A little bit of contact, yeah, but just kind of oversteered off the exit, looped it. Tried to save it a couple times. Little burnout there. Pulled himself off the racetrack. And that was it for the number 9 of Davey Scoville. All right, we're going to go grab your top 2 drivers, maybe your top 3, and we'll be back in just a moment. All right, welcome back to Sim TV. We're here with the driver of the number 95, and Brandon, that was a well-fought race. You had to defend on the outside for a couple laps from the hard-charging 66 of David Krikorian. Tell us about the final laps of that race.
Yeah, car was getting a little bit tight there at the end. It started off really well. I was just trying to pace myself behind David, and then it came to me around lap 15, and that's when I got by him. And then, you know, we battled there side by side. I think it was about 5 laps. The outside really wasn't that bad. Car was actually better there than what it was on the bottom before that. And then I saw he got a little bit loose there, and that pretty much just let me check out and seal the win. But no, it was fun. Car was fast. I wasn't able to beat him the previous 2 weeks in the Legends, so I'm glad that I can finally get a win tonight.
Yes, tell us a little bit more about that outside lane, because we saw a couple drivers utilizing the outer racetrack, driving almost all the way up to the wall on the big oval. Is there any advantage to be had arcing the corner that wide?
I mean, when you're side by side like that, I feel like in the Legend car especially, there's some advantage because you can, you know, the guy on the inside is pinched and can't really mash the gas off the corner because then you'll just slide up right into the guy on the outside. But when you're on the outside, you have all that room to work with, and I think you get a little bit of a run, and it's easier to, you know, maneuver, I guess. I don't know. For me, it was working better. I had more grip. You know, on the bottom, it was kind of loose. I felt like I was sliding my tires more, but on the outside, it felt really good. But, you know, when you're by yourself, you don't really want to run that line because the guy on the bottom could just dive it in. And you can gain about a tenth going into the corner. But no, it's good because you can race side by side with these things, and so it's fun like it was for me and David.
All right, well, congratulations on the victory, Brandon, and good luck in the next race.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, so we will try to grab the next driver. That will be David Krikorian in the number 66, and Brandon, you're clear to go back to the other chat at your leisure. All right, and David Krikorian in the number 66. That was one heck of a battle you had for the lead there, but it slipped away in the final moments. Tell us about the ending to your race.
The right front, the car felt like it was just kind of pushing on the right front and center of the corner. And then when Hoff got around, I kind of backed up the corner a little bit, and then I think I kind of started to overcompensate a little bit, and I think it heated up the right rear last couple laps.
We saw the 95 defending pretty hard on the outside lane, and I just asked him the same question, but do you really feel like the outside lane is a place that you can defend lap after lap without overheating your tires?
Yeah, a little bit. It's kind of hard to do it, though.
All right, well, David Krikorian, second place finish. Not bad here. Congratulations on that second place finish. Good luck in the next round.
Thank you.
All right, so our next driver, we're going to grab John Quinn, the number 91, because that was a phenomenal finish that he had. And there he is, driver of the number 91, John Quinn. You had one heck of a battle in the closing laps and were able to hold on to third. Tell us about that battle you had there with Jeffrey Stanton.
Yeah, it was fun. Jeffrey and I always tend to race pretty aggressively when we get up against each other like that. So it was fun seeing him kind of, he was a little loose off and I was a little loose in. So it made it really, really fun to get that back and forth going there.
Is there any advantage, and I was talking to the last two guys about the high lane, but is the bottom a place where you can kind of dive bomb into the corner and use, there's not a whole lot of banking to lean on though. So, you know, with the short wheelbase of the car and it's a little bit unstable, do you feel like you can kind of charge in on entry and slide up the track and defend better from the bottom or from the top?
Honestly, if we're going to try slide jobs, the car's got to be loose enough, almost too loose, to be honest, to really get as aggressive as you're going to need with that lack of banking. I'd rather go in on the high side like I did, you know, let him take the inside and kind of get that arc back under. But, you know, one car behind you screws that all up. You know, now you got a freight train underneath you and it's impossible to make up ground.
All right, well, thanks for that, John, and congratulations on that podium finish. That was a pretty phenomenal battle there. I'll let you get back to doing your admin duties and get in the next roundup. Thanks for talking.
Thanks.
All right, and the last guy, Jeffrey Stanton, in the number 61. Yeah, too little too late, but you really had a shot at it. You were actually ahead of the number 91 on that final lap. Tell us from your perspective about that battle.
Yeah, I was just trying to cross over. My car was getting a little bit too loose in the middle part of the run, so I was just trying to catch back up to John and try to battle with him a little bit. I was just trying to run clean though as well, try to have a fun, clean battle, which it was.
A fun, clean battle indeed, and I don't want to make that finish hurt anymore, but the gap between you and John at the end was 47 thousandths of a second, so just missed a podium finish. But congratulations on that shot, and good luck in the next race.
Thank you.
All right, and with that, we will conclude coverage of the Legends here at Irwindale. We're going to head down to the next event. We will go to commercial for just a few minutes. Hopefully OBS stays with us this time. We'll be right back. Alright, welcome back to Sim TV, and I had a chance to look through the crash report for OBS and found out that it was really just a freak thing. My processor tried to divide by 0 or do something else that it shouldn't have been doing. So I had a little crash report there in one of the threads, and you see the 91 of John Quinn sliding around, but he'll keep it off the wall. But yeah, just OBS random glitch shouldn't happen again. Hopefully it doesn't. We're back here now. I believe it's a 105 lap feature for the K&N cars here tonight, and we got a couple more entries. And we got a competition caution at lap 50. And if you see the number 94 of Finian Dacuna joined as a driver, not as a spectator, so good job there, Finian.
I'm sorry.
It's fine.
I'm human.
Anyway, top of the board right now, Brandon Hoff, no surprise there, and that's a tied number 32. And J.D. Laird in the 46 now. 3 different numbers in the 3 different cars we've run here tonight. And look at that beautiful race car. That is the number 66 of David Krikorian. That is a beautiful DuPont Chevrolet.
Yeah, it's one of the best ones I've seen. I've seen some decent ones, but I don't know, for some reason that looks really good. It almost looks exactly like the actual one.
It almost kind of glows. The red on the nose glows as well as Jeff Gordon's old paint used to. So that's a good looking car. The 32 car, Brandon Hoff goes for a slide. He'll hold on to it though. All right, K&N cars here, Finian. I wouldn't say it's slower than the super late model, but just by a tad. I mean, I think they corner. I don't know. These definitely don't have a power advantage, but it's a very different race car than the super late model.
Yeah, what is it? These are pretty much like the Gen 4 cars, the old NASCAR stock cars. They just have D-tune engines. But yeah, these things are pretty quick. They're more designed for traditional speedways and short tracks as well. But yeah, so like you're saying, yeah, I think they do have a little less kick coming out of the corner, so they're gonna have a slightly less top speed here. But should see some similar style racing, maybe even more aggressive, I would say.
And a slightly bigger field size as well here tonight. Looks like we have 8 drivers that are in the session, and 6 of them have set a lap time. And the fastest one on the board is still Brandon Hoff in the 32, and you'll have to look 700ths back to find the 39 of Case Brinksma, who is what we're looking at right now. And that is an iRacing sponsor, number 39 Chevrolet. About a minute and a half left in practice here. We'll get them qualified, and we'll set them loose for a race. Whoa, the 39's out of control, out of the final corner and into the wall. Not a huge amount of damage to be able to get that fixed up. Get the hammers out.
Or the chainsaw, in Martin Truex Jr.'s case.
Hey, well, whatever works, it works. Top of the board, you can see your 3 fastest drivers on the racetrack, the 32, the 39, and the 66. And, of course, you've got your scrolling ticker there. Happy to take any suggestions relating to the ticker as well. As I said, it's a work in progress, so anything that you'd like to see added or changed or removed, let us know, and we will try to get that. If it's a good idea, we will potentially incorporate it. Let's ride on board here with the 32 of Brandon Hoff and go around for a lap here at Irwindale. .124 at the end of the straight, and down to about 75 miles an hour in the corner. So pretty similar to the late model, and he spins off the corner again, and that might be something we're dealing with a little bit here. Finian, oversteer on corner exit, these cars are notorious for doing that.
It's going to be a matter of controlling that for 105 laps, so car control is definitely going to be important here.
One thing I know from experience from driving this car, I just started my oval career in iRacing a couple weeks ago, and I drove a lot of this car, and it's a great race car. See the 39 going up on his side there, but one of the things I found that this car is extremely tricky to drive on the limit, and if you overdrive, you're spinning out. There's not... Someone just went soaring through the frame there at like a Mach 4, and I didn't see where they went. But
Jeff going first.
Wow. All right. Well, practice is over. We're going to head into qualifying. And we will have 5 minutes to do such things. And already out of the gate, the 32 is on the racetrack. Quick in all the events here tonight, but we expect him to be maybe quickest in this number 32 Chevrolet. And we haven't quite seen the pace out of Krikorian in the K&N car as we saw in the super late model and the Legends vehicle. So Let's see if Krikorian can get his time up to the top of the board. And JD out there in the number 46, also running out here for his laps in the Valvoline Chevrolet. And he's going to park it for now and get another reset. But Brandon Hoff jumps to the top of the board with a 17.3, and that's 3.5 tenths up on the number 91 of John Quinn.
It was almost identical to his practice time. So points for consistency.
That is the In-N-Out sponsored Chevrolet Impala. And he's got Luke Soil on the rear fender of that machine. Love that paint scheme. Almost Evernham-esque with the number 91 on the side of that. Richard Orr out here with the number 5. Sponsor list this week. Well, here's an interesting thing here, Vinny, and we don't generally care about iRating so much in the league part of iRacing, but let's just read out some of the iRatings in this league, if I may. Brandon Hoff in the 32, he is on pole right now. His iRating, 53.22. David Krikorian in the 66, 64.18. And let's jump on down to Joshua Hart, who just jumped in the 95, 68.45.
Wow.
That is really impressive. And we're looking at, okay, there's 3 guys in the 2000, 3 guys? 3 guys in the 2000s. Everybody else is 4,200 or higher.
That's, in the words of Kyle Petty, that's incredible.
That's incredible. I mean, that is a strength of field and a half.
Yeah, that just shows the talent of the guys we have here tonight. We just don't just have your average Joes. These are guys that are pretty much top 20, top 10% at least on iRacing. So definitely got some good guys racing.
Yeah, Joshua Hart, by the way, a Class A 4.99 with that nearly 7,000 iRating. So I think he needs to go find a harder game at this point. I mean, he's doing all the right things apparently, but here he is on track for qualifying. And he's the number 95. That is a Hendrick Motors, HendrickCars.com Chevrolet. That is a beautiful looking car. And let's see where he lines up in qualifying here. 7 cars have taken times. Notably, one who has not yet showed himself on the racetrack is Davey Scoville in the 7. Across the line, Joshua Hart jumps up to P6. So that just shows you... I mean, also look at the times here, Finian. 500ths off from the lead for David Krikorian, and then 2/10 off to Case Brinksma in the 39. Everybody in the top 6 is within half a second. I mean, and the level of competition here is just enormous. I mean, Joshua Hart, a 7,000 iRating, run 6th in qualifying. That is incredible, as Kyle Petty would say.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this race tonight. So you guys should put on a hell of a show.
I did not think in ATVO on my timing screen I got a lot of stats to look at, and I have not popped over and looked at the iRating until just now, and I was pretty blown away by what I saw. So the starting order here, actually, there's only 2 drivers that have under 4,200 because you are one of them.
I was going to ask if you accounted for me.
I did, but I didn't mean to. So let's just read down the iRatings in the starting order here. 53.22, 64.18, 56.77, 47.53, 2072, 68.45, 43.42, 29.93, and 48.96. Wow. All right, let's not get too caught up on that. It's a league race, doesn't matter, but I'm pretty blown away by that.
Yeah, I just got some rules from John Quinn since I'm at the session.
Oh, good enough.
Yeah, so these guys are not allowed to change tires until the half. They're only allowed to change it during the halfway caution, during the competition caution. Other than that, these guys cannot take any tires if a caution goes out.
Well, that's good to know. And like we said, we have a competition yellow on lap 50 to split the race about in half. And
so it's pretty much all straight up racing, no strategy involved.
Which is going to be fun to watch. Sprint races at a short track on a Wednesday night. This is what I like to watch. And qualifying is complete. Checkered flag in the air. There it goes. 32 of Brandon Hoff on pole here with a 17.339. But we will get this grid set up and ready to go. And we got the field parked on the front straight. Looking at the field of cars here, there is the 39 of Case Brinksma, who is with us for the first race here tonight. Was not in the Legends or the Super Late Model race, but popped in for K&N. And there is your pole sitter, that Tide machine. And the Ford FR500 pace car leading him off. We got 2 cars left to grid. That's Davey Scoville in the 7 and David Krikorian in the 66. And also, there's JD popping in. All right, looks like we got 1 guy left. That's David Krikorian that needs to pop in the 66. And I think John Quinn just jumped off the grid to go change something.
Yeah, I was going to say, hopefully... Ooh, wow, just made it back.
Oof, that was close.
Time. Oh, I just realized, I think it is waiting for me to grid, so we're going to sit here for another 50 seconds.
You could grid and degrid if you want. Speed things up. There we go. All set. Thanks.
Quick fix, no problem.
All right. That'd be a fun in-race reporter thing to do sometime. We have yet to do an in-race reporter for any series, so I have to talk to these guys, see if they're interested for one of their longer races. As the cars roll off for their 2 pace laps, we have 2 schemes that look like they're straight out of the mid-2000s up in the front row. And we gotta wait for that Ford FR500 pace car to bring him around one more time at Irwindale Speedway. All right, this race should take about a half an hour, but with that yellow might be a little bit longer. We'll be with you until at least 12:15 in this race, so stay with us here on Sim TV. Pace car's got 1 more lap around. It's going to take the early pit entry before turn 3, and we'll turn them loose for 105 laps around Irwindale. Pace car pulls off into turn 3. Brandon Hoff will lead them down to the green flag. We'll just wait on the starter to drop that beautiful green flag, and the green flag is in the air. The 32 takes off out of the gate, and we're racing at Irwindale for a 105-lap feature here for K&N Pro Night. Already 2 and 3 wide there for a moment, but they're clear up front. Battling, this is for 4th place. Case Brinksma in the 39 and the 91 of John Quinn. And there's the
Quinn almost went to the wall trying to make the pass work.
It was awful close, but up front we got a battle for the lead. Here comes the 66 of David Krikorian to the inside of Brandon Hoff. Can he make that stick? That's going to be fun to watch. Down on the bottom, fresh tires, fresh egos. Everybody's ready to go racing. Can we make it there? Not quite. And the patience will wear thin as this race goes on, so might be nice to make your enemies now before the patience gets down to 0 later in this event. 32 and 66 side by side. That's let JD Laird in the 46 close up on this battle, as well as Case Brinksma in that 39. Side by side for the lead. Here comes the 46 looking to the high side.
I was wondering if he was going to make it 3 wide there.
Looked like he wanted to for a second. Here comes the 39 of Brinksma. Oh, sideways at 32. Wow, incredible save. Kicked it out sideways and held onto it. Wow. Good stuff there. 3 wide for a moment. Wow. JD Laird went from top to bottom and way down.
On the apron.
I did not know that was legal, but to the lead he goes for a moment. Wow. 3 wide for the lead here at Irwindale. 6 laps in already. Guys, the race has still got 100 laps to go.
I was amazed that worked. I honestly didn't think that was going to work for him, but no.
Back down to the bottom.
Oh, here he goes again.
What a move.
Now that's what I call a slide jump.
Incredible racing up here.
It is not quite clear yet, though. 32 is still holding strong on the outside.
Oh, look, the 46 is out of control. He slams the brakes and is able to hold on to it, but he's going to lose the ground to the leaders that he had just made up with those spectacular moves.
Yeah, it seemed that time the joining from the apron back on the track kind of bit him, and the car just broke loose for him.
Well, no harm, no foul. Drop back to 4th, get the chasing back down again, but for the lead, let's ride on board now with the 39 of Case Brinksma. 66 gets alongside the 32 again, but that's such a hard line to hold on the bottom. Incredible stuff here early in this race.
I was going to say, these guys still have a caution to come out, and they're racing like it's the last 5 laps.
Track position is everything. Look at the nose of that 32, lifted high off the ground. Interesting setup choices here, allowing these cars to roll the center. These corners, one thing about Irwindale is these corners are so long. It feels like it's, you know, I'm trying to think of a good corner that is apt. Oh, the 32 is out of control again. Man, he's such a wheel man. Here comes the 39, and that's Brinksma again looking racy. The front 4 could throw a blanket over him.
Well, behind them, the 95 and the 91 are battling for position.
Side by side, this is for 5th place. Hart's got the advantage, but Quinn's on that outside lane. And looks like the 95 is going to clear Quinn and head up into the 5th position. Well, back out front. Oh, the 32 is so twitchy, but Krikorian has managed to eventually get that lead. He worked on it for several laps and now is out front by 0.3 of a second. The 39 and 32 are going at it for P2, and the 46 is just lingering, waiting for something to happen.
I mean, honestly, that's not really a bad strategy. You know, I'm still like, for these guys, you know, just ride it out in the back. You got the caution brake to kind of resettle. You don't want to damage your car early, so yeah, I'd say just ride it out for now to see where you can't make moves.
I think that's what most of these guys have decided to do, but JD is looking pretty racy, running that high lane, but Case Brinksma does not look very satisfied with his 3rd place position, popping out low to try to get an advantage on the 32 of Brandon Hoff. Still close, tight quarters racing, even 15, 16 laps into this.
Here comes a 39 with, if he can try to get around, unless the 46 makes it 3 wide again.
Down to the inside he goes, 3 wide. That 39 is going to back out of it. Was there a little bit of contact there? It looked like it was pretty tight between the quarter panel of the 39 and the right front of the 46, but they'll get single file again. Meanwhile, David Krikorian is just driven away out front. Got a 1 second advantage over P2.
Yeah, he definitely took advantage of these guys getting side by side, and he's kind of just been able to have a nice, comfortable gap. He can just relax, you know, get your head down, put some laps in, and stretch out your lead.
46 down to the inside. Oh, contact with the wall for the 39 machine. A little bit of a scrape, but no harm, no foul. These cars can take a pretty decent beating before they really get damaged. Oh, and there's the 32 scraping it as well. We're going to be 3 wide for 2nd place. Not quite. 39's going to back out of it. What good stuff this is.
Oh, here comes JD on the apron again.
Wow, whoa, slide job. Out of control. Is he going to save it this time? Man, that was wild. Let's go back and take a look at that real quick, because that was a pretty incredible move. Let's look at it from the blimp cam, get a good view from above. Here we are. Down to the bottom, all the way down there. On corner exit, slides up in front of the 39, can't quite hold it on the power, and saves it. An incredible job by that driver, the number 46, but being very aggressive, and it could pay off later in the race.
Yeah, I'm thinking right now, probably the tires are just too worn for him to be able to stick it on the bottom. Like, we saw him earlier on when he was able to pull the move off, but I think the tires are just kind of too worn for now. But, hey, on the restart, when they have fresh tires on, we might see him try to pull a move down there again.
I made the mistake like 4 times tonight with the gearbox and rear chase cams are right on top of each other in my camera selection box. I made that mistake twice already tonight, so that's not awesome. But looking out from the rear of the 32, and so far the battles have calmed down quite a bit. Out up front, Krikorian still leads. The advantage is now 2.38 seconds. Let's check back in with other drivers through the field. Joshua Hart in the 95, running P5. And started in 6th, so not a whole lot of forward progress for Hart in that HendrickCars.com Chevrolet. John Quinn in the number 91. dropped one spot, so those guys have just traded spots. Jeffrey Stanton in the 61. Started 7th, running 7th. And a lot of damage to the right side of that 61. Been off the wall a couple times. Pretty crinkled up there on the nose. Meanwhile, up front, again, the battle for 3rd is heating back up on lap 27 now. J.D. Laird has caught the 39 of Case Brinksma. What can he do with them?
It seems he's trying to get the outside of the car, but the 39's having none of it.
Down to the bottom he goes, and we see the 46 not afraid to use that bottom. But, ooh, mid-corner drift up. Keeps it down. Nice, good, clean racing. Down to the inside again he goes. That's such a hard line to hold. Drifts up a little bit of contact, a little bit of door there. Maybe he had a little bit of net code, too. Didn't look like they had all the way made contact, but I'm sure you couldn't tell the 39 that if you tried. He's probably a little bit upset with that.
Well, I'm looking at it.
Go ahead.
I don't know. I'm looking at the replay. They actually didn't hit on my screen, so...
A little bit of netcode playing in there.
I think I'm mighty close, though.
Up front. Actually, last time by, Brandon Hoff was actually the quickest car on the racetrack by just about a couple hundredths of a second, but that time by Krikorian beat him out by a few hundredths. So, trading lap times back and forth here. Man, 3rd place. These guys will not give up. And here comes the 46, running the Larson line all the way around the high side. He's going to tuck it back down to the bottom on corner exit, though. I really like the aggressiveness I've seen out of JD tonight. It's bordering on reckless, but at the same time, it's so much fun to watch. I mean, he's almost crashed himself out 3 or 4 times, but that's what we like to see in short track racing. I don't like to see guys content with 4th. Let's drive it down there on the apron like he is here and do a slide job and try to pass somebody on lap 33. Every lap's the last lap.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if you can keep your car off of others and just not wreck yourself, you know, what? I don't mind aggressiveness. If it works, it works.
And it's entertaining to watch for sure. Lap 34 now. We got a couple lappers. Davey Scoville is off the racetrack about 31 laps down, so he did not get very far into the race before his retirement. Richard Orr in the 5 just went a lap down to the leader, and only a couple tenths off the pace, but the track is not very large, and it doesn't take a whole lot of time to find yourself a lap down, especially at the pace that Krikorian is setting. And look at the battle for 3rd once again. JD has closed in. This is the closest battle on the racetrack.
Yeah, I want to believe JD has the faster car. He cannot find a way around the 39. He's just making his car so wide that JD just can't find a way.
And we got a lap car. That's Richard Orr. Wonder if maybe the 46 can use them as a pick. We'll find out here shortly. Riding on board now with the 46. Looking at that high lane, that looks tempting, but if you get stuck up there, the 39 will definitely pin you. Here he comes to the outside. We haven't seen him get a run on the outside yet like this. The 39 running that bottom line. There's the pick move. 39 gave him room. A little bit of contact there. 39's out of control.
Wow.
Sliding contact. Oh, the 46 goes around into the wall. The 5 car's collected. No caution. Interesting. Well, that is going to be a significant amount of damage fixing for that number 46. And let's go back and take a look at it. Looks like there was just a little bit of argy-bargy. I don't want to steal the Radio Le Mans guys' words here, but the 46 and the 39, you see the 39 of Brinksma just sliding a little bit, and then on exit here, just slides up, drifts, and the 46 gets collected, and the 5 of Richard Orr is just an innocent bystander there. Really just a racing incident from my perspective, Finian.
Yeah, and JD is on pit road, so he's gonna really be paying the price for that.
And he's already a lap down, and I expect him to go several more laps down. That car does not look all that great. Meanwhile, up front, battle for the lead, not quite yet, but the 32 has actually run down Krikorian just a little bit. 1.8 seconds is the difference. You see Krikorian running through lap traffic, and that is, I believe, the number 61 of Jeffrey Stanton. Yes, it is. Right side damaged. That overstuck Mercantile Chevrolet SS. A couple laps away now from the competition yellow that's supposed to come out on lap 50. And Joshua Hart is actually reeling in the 39 of Brinksma, so this will get a little bit spicier towards the end of this run. Last time by was a tenth slower than Brinksma, but has been trending his direction for several laps now. And even still, Brandon Hoff still leading into the lead of the leader. It looks like Krikorian's still battling with that number 61. And Stanton not making it easy on Krikorian today.
Yeah, if Krikorian can't get around fast enough, I think this might fall into 32's hands just a bit.
He's running out of time, though. We got only 5 laps until that yellow. And the gap is still 1.2 seconds, so we'll have to get creative. But if the 61 keeps holding him up, it's definitely possible to catch him. Well, it looks like he got around him there. With a 1.1 second difference, now 1.0, now the 32 has to deal with that 61. Pops and crackles emitting from the right side of that lead 66 DuPont Chevrolet, and we're coming just now 3 laps away from the competition yellow. All spread out, and everyone's running pretty consistently here. We got a couple retirements. JD is off the racetrack as well as Davey Scoville. So 2 retirements. We have 5 cars on the lead lap. The first one lap down is Jeffrey Stanton in that number 61. You see him bouncing off the wall there just a little bit. And you can see as soon as Krikorian got clear of the 61, he extended his lead back to 1.5 seconds, but it's going to be all for naught as we hit lap 50.
Yeah, I think as these guys come around, we should see the caution fly.
Waiting on that competition yellow. Out of turn 4, the 66 will complete lap 50, and we should see that caution fly at any moment. I haven't seen it yet, so maybe we're just waiting until the last car completes. There it is. Caution is out. And I'm happy my new animations seem to have worked correctly, so that's good to know. Caution is out here at Irwindale. 52 laps in. David Krikorian is your leader. Brandon Hoff, Case Brinksma, Joshua Hart, and John Quinn is your top 5.
Notably, JD has come back out on the track. He's 11 laps down, however.
Yeah, it looks like he got those repairs complete, and it'll be interesting to see the interactions around the 39 now. There might be some hard feelings between those two, and from my perspective, just a racing incident, but it's going to be real hard to convince drivers of that.
Yeah, hopefully nothing gets too out of hand.
All right, down pit lane. Here comes the 66. He's going to drag the field with him. And into their pit stalls they will go. And fuel, tires, you're going to want to just load up this vehicle with everything it needs.
Yeah, I wouldn't really see the point in taking 2 tires, but I could be wrong. But definitely don't want you definitely want your pit crew to work really well, otherwise you could lose a race here.
Out of the pit lane, the 32 beats the 66 off a pit lane.
And yeah, the 66 is not going to be happy with his pit crew with that stop.
And the 39 and 95 will hold onto their spots, as well as John Quinn. So it looks like Jeff Stanton's going to get his lap back. And it looks like Richard Orr in the 5 is also... Oh, he's still showing a 1 lap down. All right, so our halfway break will conclude here shortly. We'll turn him back loose. And with the racing we've seen so far, I expect this to get a little bit more aggressive. But without that 46 car in here, those cool, awesome dive bomb apron moves are probably going to be a little bit less likely. Unfortunately, that was fun to watch for sure.
Yeah, but we definitely got 3 great cars up front. And I would say even 4. The 95 was actually running pretty decent lap time, so maybe he even might try to have a say in this battle.
Well, here's an interesting factoid for all those watching at home. The quickest car is not the 66 of David Krikorian. It is not the 32 of Brendan Hoff. It is not the 95 of Joshua Hart. It is actually the 39 of Case Brinksma, a 17.604. That's a whole tenth faster than anybody else out there.
So he might be the sleeper out here, and he could have just been, biding his time. So right now is the time to let it loose.
I mean, take your picks now. I mean, I say the 39's got it. Starting on the bottom, I think he's going to be in good shape to get by that 66, as we got the 1 to green that time by. So.
I think I'm going to go with the 66, and that's not just because I'm a Jeff Gordon fan.
Well, go with the obvious one. That's fine.
That's the obvious one. The obvious one would be the 32.
Okay, well, he's leading. All right. Out of turn 4. The green flag will drop again. We should see that 32 shoot off. Right there he goes, and the green flag will fly again. And we're back racing at Irwindale. A great jump by Brendan Hoff. And whoa, look at the 95 looking racy on the high side. A great restart for Joshua Hart. And Brinksma's going to lose a couple spots here on the start. And here comes the 91 of John Quinn into the mix as well. Oh, Brinksma slid right up in front of John Quinn and bounced off the wall just a little bit there, but car should be okay. Meanwhile, up front for the lead, Krikorian has not let Hoff get away. And we have a new best lap time, and it's Brinksma again, but Hoff just ran a 17.660, so he's only a couple hundredths off of Brinksma's time. Well, the 46 is still down in the bottom making moves, even though he's 11 laps down. And the 32 got that lead established, but we got a couple groups, 3 groups of 2 that are all getting pretty racy. 46 of I almost said G-Day again. I swear to God. JD out on the racetrack still looking racy. He's right up, tucked underneath the rear bumper of that number 95 of Joshua Hart. Look at the camber on the left fronts of these cars. It is wild to get these cars to rotate around here.
Ooh, he's got a fender on the 95.
Last time by, Brandon Hoff and David Krikorian ran their fastest laps of the race, and Krikorian was actually the quickest, 17.508, so a new race record here.
Yeah, he is all over the bumper of the 32.
Definitely looking racy. We're 64 laps in, and to the inside he goes, and this is going to be a hard pass to make. But he's going to run kind of the middle groove here and see if he can use a little bit more arc to his advantage. He's going to be side by side with the 32 going down the back straightaway.
It seems to be working out of 4, less out of 2 though. So
side by side through turns 3 and 4. Oh man, the 32 is rim riding for sure. And I think Brandon, in every race here tonight, has really been the one to rim ride. And it looks like is he going to give it up? Not quite. Brendan Hoff has really been the one pushing the boundaries of that upper lane. And you see him doing it again here. And it looks like the 66 is going to get clear. Not quite. Here comes the 32 back on the outside. Phenomenal racing for the lead.
I think he might have it this time by. Yep, 66 has got it.
32 is going to try to do the over-under. Here comes down to the inside.
Woohoo! That was really close. He almost had him in the quarter panel.
He's going to run the 66 pretty high up on the racetrack, but I think Krikorian's got an advantage here, and he will clear him and going down the back straightaway. Looks like Hart lost a little bit of ground there, got into the wall just a little bit, or let the 46 by, and Case Brinksma has actually reeled the 95 back in. And behind them, John Quinn is just giving up 5th place to Jeffrey Stanton in the 61, who has his car pretty repaired after the pretty severe right side damage he had after that first run. And back for the lead. That's not done yet.
Yeah, that seems to be the theme for tonight.
Closing
it
in
seems
on
to be
30
the-
to go. Sorry about that, Finia. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say David just seems to be just a oh, caution's out.
Caution, and it's for the 39 of Case Brinksma in the wall. Wow, that throws a wrench into things. Caution.
Oh
is
wow,
out.
he went over and he went tumbling over his roof.
Well, let's go take a look at it and find out what happened. And oh wow, that is a spectacular accident. Here's a replay. There's a 39, Case Brinksma. On corner exit, did he just too much throttle? Oh yeah, bounced off the wall, rid up over the wall, and wow, up and over. 2 times he flipped on his lid. Let's try to get another angle of that. See if we can. There's a 39 again. And it's such a tricky thing, Finian, to get the power down just right. And he just missed it, and the right side tires dug into the wall and up and over a couple times. Certainly, that is not going to be good for the handling of that race car.
Yeah, definitely not. And it seems Richard Orr is going to get the lucky dog this time by, and we'll get his lap back.
So 2 cautions on the night. One at lap 52 and one at lap 72. And the one at lap 52 was the competition yellow, and 72 was for Case Brinksma in the 91, or excuse me, not the 91, the 39, going up and over on his lid on the front straightaway. I think that's something that hasn't happened quite so much on tracks with safer barriers now, Finian, because the steel and foam energy reduction system, or safer barriers, organizations like to call it, steel is a lot slipperier, is more slippery, so it's hard for the car to ride up on the wall. But when the walls are concrete, it's basically made of the same thing the track is made out of. So you get the tires up on there, you'll flip the car right over.
Yeah, definitely. And it seems I don't think he has a fast repair, so he's going to have significant damage to that right side, the right rear specifically.
Yeah, that car is pretty torn up. I'm just amazed it's still driving, considering it was upside down a couple laps ago. All right, we should be getting the one to go next time by. And we'll set him double file, and this actually gives new life to Brandon Hoff in that 32, because he will get a chance to show his outside lane prowess again. One guy who's chomping at the bit is Joshua Hart in that number 95. He's going to be right underneath the tailpipes of these two battling leaders. And if things get racy, he's going to be right there. We're under 30 laps to go now, so the time to go is now.
Yeah, and 32 is going to have the preferred lane from what we've seen tonight. So this is going to be an interesting restart.
All right, little update for you. We have 8 of the 9 starting drivers still out on the racetrack. J.D. Laird involved in an accident earlier off the bumper of Case Brinksma. Then a little while later, Case Brinksma flips over on the front straightaway, but we're going to bunch the field up. You see the 91 already racing, getting into the 32.
He wants to go.
Pace car pulls off, waiting on the green. Green flag back in the air here at Irwindale. The 66 gets a great jump. And he's going to clear the 32. Can he slide up in front of him? No. On corner exit he will, though. Here comes the 91 of John Quinn, who has not really been in the battle here too much tonight, but here comes the 46 down to the bottom. He's several laps down.
Loose. Ooh.
Look out. 11 laps down, but still throwing moves like it's the last lap, and I appreciate that. That is fun to watch, for sure.
He has some tire marks on the apron.
Brandon Hoff trying to chase back down Krikorian. I hear contact. Didn't quite see where it was from, but
I believe there's a 61 on the wall.
yeah, that, par for the course for tonight for him. He's struggled to keep that right side off of the concrete. Whoa, down to the, wow, way down to the inside. He's pulling a 46 all the way down to the yellow line. It almost worked. Certainly an interesting line to take there.
How about this 3-wide battle for 4th place?
Watch it from above. The 39, the 91, the 5, the 61, all involved. Richard Orr given a new lease on life after receiving the free pass. He's back here. Wow, contact! Him and the 61 get together, and Stanton bounces off the wall. Brinks Mud.
There's a 39 with a low charge. Cannot get to the 91.
Oh, the 61's loose, out of control. He slides.
Ooh, good save.
He hangs onto it. Incredible job. All right, we're closing in on 20 laps to go now. And Krikorian's jumped out to a half a second lead over the 32 of Brandon Hoff. Joshua Hart is in third, John Quinn fourth, Brinksma fifth.
Third line is still trying to make that inside line work. And I think this car is just too damaged.
Oh,
ooh, tap from the 5.
Will he hang on to it? He will. 5 moves him again. Maybe a little bit of a disagreement between these drivers.
Whoa, here's a 61. Wow.
That was...
Take the stamp and send it.
That
Hell,
was a Hail Mary and a half. Look at him. The car is destroyed. He's just going to chuck it in there 3 wide to the bottom of the racetrack again. Out of control. Sliding. The 39 goes around again. I cannot believe that those cars did not all just crash right there.
They were very, very close.
That was...
There's 3 cars spinning simultaneously.
Okay, hold on 1 second. We got to go back and take a look at that. I don't even know. We're going to look at that from the blimp cam. How everyone did not just trigger a yellow there is just unbelievable. 61 just chucks it in there, and the 5 and the 39 get together. And somehow they all keep it going the right direction. What a phenomenal piece of driving by all those drivers. Meanwhile, for third, we got a battle here. Whoa, the 95's out of control. Up and over on his lid. Out of control. Sliding on the racetrack, and the caution is out for the number 95 here on lap 90 with 15 laps to go. Another pretty terrible crash here tonight. Another car up on its roof. Let's take a look at it. Here he comes off of turn 4. Oversteers on exit. Gets into the wall again. And that car is pretty total. I'm just amazed, Finian, at how these cars seem to be able to drive away from pretty much what would otherwise be considered a DNF.
Yeah, it's a stock car. You can slam it into the wall and it will still drive. Not particularly well, but it will still drive as the 95 spun on the pace on this under caution.
Well, that's an interesting development here. Well, we knew it was going to be a fun one. We didn't know it was going to be this action-packed, though. We're 92 laps in. And Krikorian, he had a half a second advantage that was now erased by that caution.
I was going to say that the 32 was catching Krikorian a little bit, and then the caution immediately came out. So I'm wondering if the 32 still has some life left in him, and if he can try to get back to the 66, because he needs, really what he needs is a restart, a really good restart. Otherwise, he's going to lose a shot at this.
One thing I've noticed on the restarts tonight is that the leader goes way before the green, which is totally legal and fair. You're allowed to do that, but it definitely creates... some tracks, when the pace car pulls off, you don't have a whole lot of time to decide when you want to go. At this track, you have like almost 10 seconds to make your green flag decision before the green flag actually drops, because the pace car pulls off over there in turn 3. So what that means is that if you're in second, you're at a massive disadvantage. You would have an advantage if you would know when the green flag was dropping, but because the leader controls the start, you're kind of got your hands tied behind your back.
Yeah, so he's really just got to look like a hawk and just wait for the 66 to just move a little bit. Other than that,
like a Hoff? That was a terrible joke. I'm sorry. All right, well, we're going to be under 10
I don't even respond.
Yeah, I wouldn't waste your breath on me either. We're going to be under 10 laps to go for the restart. So if you got something in the bag, you got to chuck it out there now. You don't have a lot of time to formulate a run. I think the restart's going to be the most important thing for Krikorian to get right. And if he can drive away, I think he'll be in pretty safe hands. All right, if you're just watching, you're here for the first time here on Sim TV, we have a lot of streaming going on this week. We have Sunday night, we have 3 Wide Trucks at Monza. That's going to be a fun one to watch. Sunday night, 10 o'clock Eastern Time. Be back with these guys here in a couple weeks back at Irwindale, and we got all sorts of stuff coming up in the fall. So if you're not subscribed, please do. It's just all the good stuff, racing content that you guys like to watch. Empty Box, Matt Malone, Sim TV. Make it one of your subscriptions. We want to give a special thanks to our sponsors, JDR Graphics, the Trackside Experience, DJ Safety, and Sparko for coming on board to help sponsor these races and these broadcasts. I want to thank all those partners especially. 1 lap to green here. We're going to be 9 laps to go for the restart, and it's going to be a wild one.
Yeah, these guys are going to make a move. They have to make it now.
Pace car's off. The 66 can go whenever. There he goes. Shoots out of a cannon. The 32 is left in the dust. But the race is on now.
Oh, woohoo! 61 has also found some life.
The 91 of John Quinn split the middle there. Here comes the 39 of Brinksma sliding up the racetrack just a little bit. Lots of racing going on for third on back. The 61 is pulling a Kyle Larson right now, all the way against that wall. A couple of these cars have been turned over on their lids a few times. I'm amazed that they've got a crash, and it's the 95 involved, and the 39 is again, and we have a caution with 8 laps to go. And the 95 looks like he's going to pull it off the racetrack. Let's take a look and see what happened this time.
Yeah, it seems like he cooked it into the corner too much and realized he was going to get it to the 39 and try to avoid him.
Yeah, that was just one of those instances where everyone's going for the same real estate on the racetrack. Let's ride on board now. I believe it was with JD that got a pretty good view of this. Just got in there a little bit too hot, and you can't really fault him for that. You got to go for it. But you see him, yeah, he slid out of control. He had no control over that. Just a racing incident there. But we're going to have just a couple laps left when we come back to green. So it's definitely going to make this an interesting end of the finish if it wasn't good enough already for you. All right, didn't see any pit stops. I'm surprised. Yeah, surprised that no one did, Finney.
Well, yeah, they're not allowed to pit for tires, so I don't think they want to lose that track position.
Good point. All right, 4 yellows on the night. We're going to have probably 2 or 3 laps to go. Probably 3 would be my guess. Maybe 2. But now is really, Brendan Hoff's got no choice. He's got to nail that restart. Got to keep it on the high lane. Or if he's going to let the 66 get a jump on him, take a dive down to the inside and lick the stamp, send it, throw a bumper in there. This is your last opportunity to make this happen.
I also want to see if John Quinn has something up his sleeve. Dude, that car looks really clean, and I bet he's itching to try to do something, especially you're sitting third. So if we can see him do something with 2 to 3 laps to go, if you want to give me an accurate number on
that. Well, it's 4 laps to go now. We still have to go at least 1 more caution lap. So it'll be 2 to go. Yeah, it'll be 2 to go. Basically, is what we're going to end up with. So green-white checkered here for K&N Pro Night at Irwindale Speedway. And will the lights turn off this time? Yes, they will. So we will have 2 laps to settle it here at Irwindale between the 66, the 32, the 61, and the 91. 4 guys really realistically have a shot at it, but anybody in this field could still win this race if there's contact up in the front of the field. And I imagine there will be some. Got to be careful if you're Brandon Hoff not to jump this start, but you also don't want to get left behind. I bet he'll be looking real carefully out that left side window. Coming to the restart, green flag back in the air, and Hoff gets snookered again, and the 66 takes off. Here comes the 91 of John Quinn down to the bottom. Hoff, can he get to the outside? Not quite. Is there going to be contact? Wow, he snuck around there. That was incredible. Here comes the 61 all the way down to the apron. Can he hold it down there? No, the 91's going to slide back around and the 5-car spinning.
The 31, yeah. Oh, these guys are all over the place in the wall.
And
46 hit the tires.
JD is off the racetrack, damage. But the final quarter, here comes the 32 down to the bottom. He's just going to send it. Will he get there? Not quite! He's gonna just miss the rear quarter panel of the 66, and David Krikorian will win at Irwindale. What a phenomenal finish. Wow, that was pretty amazing.
Yeah, I gotta give him points for effort there. That was a great dive. And also, I think one thing we should honestly just watch a replay of is the 39 and the 5 those last 2 laps.
Yeah, let's take a look at the 66. Watch his burnouts here for just a second, and if he's going to do them, and then we'll go back, we'll debrief that final lap, or the final closing laps here, and looks like Krikorian's going to pull off. So let's go back and take a look. You said it was the 5 car that was involved in some argy-bargy here. So let's see if we can find it. Oh yeah, contact between the 39 and the 5, definitely. And the 5 car, does he get back at him? Let's see.
Yeah, those entire last 2 laps, they were hitting each other.
I imagine there are some hurt feelings. Oh, even coming into the pits at the end of the race, the 5 car did a little slider. Let's take a look. Now let's go back and see if we can find... Oh yeah, this is another thing I want to look at is J.D. Laird, how he was involved in this accident when the 39 and 5 spun. Oh, just avoiding it, just got into the tire barrier and wrecked that car. And I guess the last thing we'll take a look at would be that final dive move by the 32, that desperate end of the race maneuver. Let's ride on board with him for this last couple laps. Just an incredible dive. You can hear him all the way out of the gas, just on the binders, trying to get it stopped, and just missed the 66. But pretty incredible last-ditch effort by the 32 to try to get himself back in the race. Well, that's it for the K&N Pros, and we'll be right back, hopefully, with your winner, David Krikorian. Back live on Sim TV, here with your winner, the driver to number 66, David Krikorian. And David, very quick, you had to wrestle the lead away from Brendan Hoff early in this race, but turned out another victory for you tonight. Tell us about that race. It was definitely an exciting one.
Yeah, the car, at least for me, it didn't really take off well, and it kind of showed that last restart. We had a couple of quick cautions that really got the tires to cool off, but after about 10, 15 laps, center off, I was just on a rail.
The restarts were an important thing tonight. You had to defend the 32 a bunch of times, but you had that advantage on the inside. Maybe not an advantage on the racetrack, but definitely for the restart, you were able to get that jump. How critical is that jump to clearing that 32 in those final laps?
Well, these cars, they have an insane amount of grip just on throttle on a restart, so it's all you got to just Madden. It stuck actually kind of shockingly really well lower for as long as it did, but just get a decent enough restart and clear Mata 2.
All right, well, David Krikorian, another phenomenal performance out there tonight. Congratulations on the victory in that number 66 Chevrolet.
Thank you.
All right, the next guy up is going to be Brandon Hoff in that number 32. And we'll wait for Brandon to get in here. There he is. Brandon and that driver of the number 32 car. Again, a hard-fought race. You chucked it in there and sent it, but just came up just short of the victory. Tell us about that battle with Krikorian in those final laps.
I knew he was faster than me. The entire race, like I was able to hold him off for first, like I think it was like 15 laps or so of the race, and then he got by me and just checked out. And then after the halfway break, I beat him off pit road. I thought maybe I can keep him in front of me, but it didn't work out. And then at the end there, I was just going for it all. I think if I was closer coming out of turn 2 on the white, I might have been able to pull it off. But it was very unlikely. I was basically just going for it, like I said, and hoping for the best. But no, it was a fun race. I enjoyed it.
It was definitely fun from our perspective too, Brandon. And congratulations on that P2 finish. Well earned, buddy.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, so that will conclude our interviews for the K&N Pros. And we will head to break, and we will be back in just a couple minutes. All right, welcome back to Sim TV, and we got some interesting racing about to happen here tonight. We are on the figure 8 now. Let's just throw caution to the wind. Let's go crash some cars. Pontiac Solstices tonight. You can see the course is all set up, and what a disaster. This is just chaos, and I love it.
Yeah, I'm looking at the intersection cam. That's probably the best camera.
Oh, I didn't see that. Oh, this is Finian. Oh, there it is. Contact. This is a great camera, by the way. We want to thank Finian for putting that camera together, so we don't have to guess at when the collisions are going to happen. We can just look here and see it all happen. And this is going to be fun to watch for sure. This is really just end of the night, de-stress, get your anger out. It'll be fun to watch for sure.
Listen, there really isn't much method to the madness here. It's not. It's more just like, yeah, just just try not to die in the intersection. Really, just from all I can really say is, just look left and just make sure no one's coming at you in the opposite direction.
Well, this is a new first for SimTV. Have not done a figure 8 race before, so this is going to be a new one. Wow, that's good. I'm going to be doing that the whole time. Usually iRacing is about not crashing into people, and it's also like this tonight, but I'm not used to iRacing putting you in situations where you're pretty much gonna crash. So I think that intersection cam is going to be our best friend here tonight, Finian. Not much to see from the TV cameras. Whoa, man. TV3 is a pretty good pick there, though. There's David Krikorian in the 66, John Quinn in the 91 in that blue California Club Solstice. And Quinn finished third in the K&N race, which was a good race for him after struggling a little bit in the earlier events this evening. Brandon Hoff in the 23, also a blue and black Solstice. That's going to make it easy. And another blue Solstice, the 61 of Jeffrey Stanton, and a black and yellow Solstice for J.D. Laird. Wow, that was a close call there. And Gary Weaver, new entry for this evening. Logitech number 41. Going to be out here tonight smashing up some Solstices. And we're looking back at the intersection cam. By the way, this is qualifying, I should mention. Open qualifying at a figure 8 track. So whatever genius decided on that, I love it. It's fantastic. Let's look at our race and weather information here. Been pretty consistent weather here this evening at Irwindale. 78 degrees in the air, 85 on the track. Partly cloudy conditions, and the wind is still that nice, cool 2-mile-an-hour breeze out of the north. And none of it's going to matter because this is not really a nuanced form of racing by any stretch of the
No, it is not. It's pretty much just a fun race, and honestly, it's going to be fun for us watching.
It's going to be a lot of oohs and ahs and don't hit that. It's going to be a lot of carnage here, and it's going to be fun to watch. Krikorian at the top of the board right now with a 22.160, and a 10th on back is John Quinn in number 91. And Jeffrey Stanton, the 61, trying to get himself back into this mix. He had an interesting race in the K&N feature. Kind of was doing a lot of what the 46 was doing, just kind of chucking the car into the corner and bouncing it off the wall, and still ended up with a pretty good result after all that. Especially after the 95. Oh, contact there. And that's about it for the 61. Lost my train of thought, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah, he had an interesting race last time he was out on track. So, I mean, this time, hey, caution to the wind, just wreck some cars.
Checkered flag
like
in
that.
the air. Checkered flag in the air for qualifying. And we see some Solstice carcasses depositing on the side of the racetrack. Oh, man, this is going to be puke fest. I was riding on the nose cam of the 23, and instant got spun around. You hear the cones hitting the fenders.
Yeah, there are a lot of cones on this configuration.
Looking from above, a lot of cones and a lot of lines, and we're gridding here, and this is going to be absolute chaos, and I'm super looking forward to it. All right, that's about It's about a 50 by 50 foot space right there in the center of the racetrack that you do not want to be. And the whole point is going to be to avoid that for 20 laps.
Yeah, one thing of note is, well, I'm really happy iRacing lets you do is that you can use almost any part of the racetrack and you won't get a cut course hit. Ooh, 41 jumped the start.
Yep, standing start here for this race. 20 laps. Red lights are on, waiting for the green. Green flag in the air, and David Gregorian's going to lead him down to the green. And we got a black Solstice and 3 blues and another black one. Solstice sandwich, if you will. Already Stanton, Hoff, and Krikorian battling for that spot. We got a change for the lead. John Quinn's going to jump up in that top spot.
Yeah, you're going to see these guys really abuse track limits on corner exit.
I know track limits. It's a parking lot with some lines in it, Finian. Let's go racing. It's autocross, baby. Contact between the 23 and 61. Oh, more contact.
Ooh.
That 23 is using the fenders already. More contact, more pushing and shoving.
Yeah, everyone's trying to just find any line they can get around the car ahead of them.
But John Quinn jumped out to a lead. Pretty decent sized lead, almost a second now. As we look from above on the blimp cam, you can see there's one car there. Gary Weaver lagging behind just a little bit. And already that front group of 5 cars is starting to close in and make that gap every lap a little bit smaller.
Yeah, the key really is on this type of racing is timing and just try to get your timing right so you don't end up hitting someone, because that will destroy your car. It won't just ruin it, it will destroy it.
Battle for the lead here. Oh, it's getting close up front already. The 91 and the 66 battling for a spot. And that 41 of Gary Weaver is getting closer. This time by, it's going to be real close. He's going to slow down. Oh, man, the 23 barely scrapes by.
That was nice of him to not try to kill the leaders.
Gary Weaver avoids the collision there. But still battle for the lead, 66 and 91. And here comes Krikorian around the outside. Can he do anything with it?
Yeah, it seems he's really good on the exits, but can't. It just loses all momentum on the entry.
Down to the inside, he's got the preferred line here. Oh, the 91's going to chop his nose a little bit, but they'll give each other plenty of room on the corner exit. And you can see the field starting to separate just a little bit. We're almost halfway through this, but already that's the one of J.D. Laird that's falling behind just a little bit. And, oh, we got a argy-bargy for the lead here. But every lap when these guys get separated, it's going to make the intersection closer and closer. And see some more cones flying there between the leaders.
Oh man, David, every time he's just looking every which way around the 91, just can't find the way around.
Quinn's doing a great job defending, by the way. We haven't seen a whole lot, we haven't talked about him a whole lot tonight, but certainly doing a great job. And the intersection's been pretty clear for a lot of this race. Not enough cars to really make this a complete death fest, but as these leaders cycle around farther and farther, every lap's going to get a little bit closer. You see the 41 being very, very conservative with the nose of his race car.
So we're already halfway through this race.
Whoa, that was a close one there in the middle. Gary Weaver and J.D. Laird almost collided. And I expect him to keep us on the intersection cam here, because things might start to get a little spicy here. Oh, through the middle! Oh my goodness, they almost hit each other again. And this is where it's going to start getting sketchy. Okay, looks like we're okay for now. And still a battle up front for the lead between Krikorian and Quinn. And Weaver being very considerate of the other drivers out here tonight. Oh man, that one of JD's starting to slip into the clutches of what would be carnage spot there in the middle of the racetrack.
It's going to be really interesting at the end of the racing. Oh yeah, ever so close. He's just falling a little bit further behind.
And a battle for the lead again. The 66 runs real wide. Tucks it back in tight. Through the intersection. Oh, man. I think it was the 23 of Hoff that ran wide there.
David giving him a bit of a bumper.
Looking from above.
Ooh.
Man, Krikorian's been way too nice to John Quinn. And I expect that niceness to fade as we're now going to be down to 5 laps to go the next time they cross the line.
Oh, he's got a hell of a run, but I can't do anything with it.
Oh, they're closing in on that. Is that the 41 or the 1? I think it's the 1 car that is getting closer to them every single lap. 66 almost laid the bumper to him that time through. To the inside goes the 66. Oh, he's being so nice and considerate.
I wonder how considerate he's going to be when he sees that white flag.
Not very. I'll tell you that much.
Well, this is the best chance he's had all race.
He's going to be out of the preferred line. He's going to do the over-under here. He's going to have to. Back down. He's going to have a run through the intersection. He just keeps finding himself on the outside no matter what he does.
Oh, yeah, it's just, like you see in this corner, he's just going to come up and, he's going to have to dive to
over
the
under,
inside.
down to the inside. Here he goes. This is the best shot he's had. Can he clear him? He does. An incredible move.
91's going to have an incredible run, though.
That's incredible. Back over. Trade spots
he's gonna
back.
throw on the inside. Yep.
Oh, oh man.
Crossover. White flag.
One more time around. Looks like we should be clear of any intersection casualties. But this is the battle for the lead between the 66 and the 91. Coming back around.
He's got one more corner to try something.
Oh, contact a little bit.
That's not going to be enough.
And that is it. John Quinn takes home the victory at the figure eights here tonight. David Krikorian brings home P2. Brandon Hoff. Wow, that was a close battle there. Hoff and Stanton, only a 1/10 of a second separating them. I literally almost said it again. JD. I don't know what my brain, if it's something subconscious, if I'm, what do they call that when you mix up letters and numbers?
Dyslexic?
That's the one. Okay, lots of burnouts everywhere. Well, that was a successful victory for John Quinn, and we didn't have any mass casualties in the infield. So I can honestly say I've never seen a Solstice do a burnout. So that's
it's kind of hard to do it in that.
I'm pretty impressed.
That's such a little power.
Well, from high above Irwindale Speedway, I think we're going to let these guys get to bed, get to rest. But congratulations to John Quinn in the number 91. A successful night here at Irwindale Speedway. Thanks for being with us through our technical difficulties and our name mispronunciations and all of the dysfunction that comes with the first SimTV broadcast for this group. We'll be back in a couple weeks here for the next event. Thanks for watching. Again, thanks to our sponsors, JDR Graphics. They do graphics for race cars, and their links are in the video description. The trackside experience, a wonderful opportunity for anyone visiting a racetrack. Check out that link, as well as DJ Safety, offering safety equipment to racers and track officials alike. Thanks to all those guys for coming on board for these broadcasts. I want to thank Finian for putting all these cameras together for all the different configurations of Irwindale and being with me here tonight. Thank you for watching on SimTV. I'm Kyle Heyer. Have a great night.